segment, we might as well hop right into Love is Blind. The reunion came on at 9 o'clock on Thursday of last week. I think that was Wednesday of last week. So America watched it together. We anticipated all day for this reunion. And in my opinion, I thought the reunion was good. My only complaint from the reunion, I really wish Nick and his wife would do a better job at these questions. We did not need 40 minutes on Sarah and Jeremy. And blonde haired lady with the lip injections.
Laura.
We didn't need 40 minutes. That wasn't that complicated. Jeremy is a liar. He lied to his mom. He lied to America in the reunion and the past cast members. He's just a liar.
You know what it was?
Go ahead.
They say this is the most talked about season, but you know how we all was into the Clay and AD storyline. White people was into that Jeremy Laura storyline really hard. Like we was hanging on to the AD storyline. All the white podcasts I listened to they talk about that Jeremy situation and Trevor.
But what was?
I mean, not Trevor. Trevor.
What was there to discuss? Like he did that
because it was like, how dare he share his location? Is he really that stupid? Do you think he got with Sarah and? I mean, it was just fascinating for them.
Right. And then she went online. They showed the video of her online, basically saying that they were doing it for entertainment. That was a big thing.
Yeah.
I didn't like Nick and his wife. I did. Well, first of all, I did like when Nick and his wife asked her about, do you feel this is entertainment?
Yeah.
Because I wanted her to answer that shit with her chest. Like, yes, like this is a form of entertainment. Yes. Real life can all the time be a form of someone's entertainment.
Facts.
Like it just is, and it's the number one selling entertainment on television. I mean, sports show you that. That's true life entertainment. That's somebody's life we watch, even though they playing the game. If they get hurt and they tear their ACL, that's their life we're watching happen right now. It's a part of their actual life. So although it's a TV production, like at the end of the day, this shit is for entertainment. We all know the rules of the game show because Love is Blind ain't nothing but a game show. We know the rules of the show. You beat somebody, you propose to them, and then at the altar, you can say yes or you can say no. Which one you gonna do?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I wanted her to not be scared of Nick and his wife in that moment and say it with her chest. But they had dog pound on her so bad that by the time that question came, she was rattled.
I was just tired of hearing her bring up you saw how hard I cried. Everybody cried.
Yeah.
That
you weren't
really
the only
didn't
person
matter.
in
But
that pod's crying.
She was alone. Like nobody defended her. She was the enemy and she was being attacked live in front of America. I didn't really think that was right for them to attack her the way that they did.
Who, the girls or just
the girls?
Yeah.
The girls are the ones who attacked her.
Well, they teamed up. I mean, they were all had they click. She had to know that she was going to catch it.
And during the pods, and it's only because she knew Laura and Jeremy were connecting, so she kind of set herself apart by making sure she shared every time she talked to Jeremy what they talked about, so it was to make Laura feel uncomfortable, and the girls like Laura more. So yeah, it became this thing where it's like, all right, you're doing a lot to try to prove that Jeremy's gonna pick you, and it's not cool. Like we're all here to pick somebody.
What's done has been done.
I mean,
at this point,
I don't think she's the enemy. No,
and I think the way they dogpiled on her, I didn't like. It's come on, guys. Like this is y'all doing too much. Like this ain't real life. Had this been real life, it would have never been a situation where she would have had to shoot him a DM on the back end. Like,
right.
Had this been real life, none of this would have never happened. Like this is all produced. This is all manufactured. You guys been on the set for weeks, and she got back out in the real world. She shot her shot. And Jeremy made that decision. Jeremy made a decision to get engaged to that woman. Jeremy made a decision to tell you one thing and go home and tell this woman he loves her by telling you this is about to be over. We all witnessed that. Like, Jeremy made these decisions. You were a willing participant because you wanted to be with Jeremy, and I don't see nothing wrong with that. But Jeremy is the one who's mainly at fault here. Like, he got engaged, and he was going to get married. So if y'all was going to dogpile on anybody, dogpile more on Jeremy. Yeah, still, we didn't need 40 minutes of it.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely did their 40 minutes because.
Like, I looked at I paused.
And then they started doing audience questions.
Yeah, like, I didn't
like
need
audience
that.
questions.
And then we finally get to, I think, the one I wanted to hear from, really, I wish there was better questions for them, is Brittany and Kenneth.
Oh yeah, they gave them like what 5 minutes.
But that was the end. Like,
Yeah.
before we even get to Brittany and Kenneth, after we spend 40 minutes on that, then we go back to these past cast members. Why are they there? This season gave us so much content that we didn't need y'all to bring the old people back. Was it great to see them? Yeah. It was great to see them. It was nice to see Brett and Tiffany and all your favorite couples who got married. But we didn't need that. We didn't need them there. Like, there was so much to unpack from this season that they were not needed. And I like adding in the social media questions.
Yeah.
But get the good social media questions. Like, those social media questions that they were shooting to Jimmy. Like, Jimmy and Chelsea got off easy in this, to me.
Yeah, they wouldn't spend as much time as I thought they was going to spend on them either.
She didn't really say much, and I think that was by design because she had already looked so bad and insecure during the show, during the season. I think it was by design that a lot of questions weren't really fielded towards her. So she can't say much. But why?
Yeah, it was more of a but when their section came up, it was more Jimmy and Jessica. They had a long conversation compared to Jimmy and Chelsea.
And we didn't know nothing. I didn't know nothing about his interview. I didn't know nothing about any of that. And that was another thing that I think that got a lot of time that didn't need a lot of time. Like, why are we talking about Jimmy and Laura? Jimmy was with Chelsea, and we kind of want to know. We didn't even find out where they stand today. I don't even think they asked them that.
Jessica.
Yeah.
No, Jimmy and Chelsea.
We don't know where they stand.
We didn't find out. They never got to that. And then
well, I think no. He said that they broke up.
They're broken up.
They're probably still fucking.
But are they, like, they didn't say if they were friends, if they was
she's
cool.
She's definitely the type to still be fucking.
Oh yeah. But they never said what their status was. Like, they never asked.
But it seemed like they was cool, so you're probably right. They probably
I agree. I wanted to hear from them what happened after y'all left Carowinds or y'all split. Like, how's it been? We didn't really catch up with them. We really didn't get to catch up with them.
If she was seeing someone else, if she really went to therapy.
Oh yeah, we didn't catch up with none of that. We went to these random audience questions that we didn't need. Now, when we did get to Clay and AD, I don't think that was long as we needed it to be either. But it was good. Like, our little bit of Clay and AD was pretty good. I wanted to come in here and talk to you about Clay's speech because I think Clay did a good job of turning himself from a villain to, like, not such a bad guy. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, you started to feel for him and when he gave his speech.
Not only that, when he mentioned the thing about the broken homes and the black men, and the camera pans to Kenneth, and the camera pans to Brett.
Yeah, salute to my nigga Brett.
And then he shouts Brett out. You know what I'm saying? And just says, your season, it was the season I was watching, and you did your thing. And Brett came back and said, I came from I had a broken home too.
Right.
So I feel you on that. And I think
Brett didn't use it as an excuse.
No, but he said I had the same worries as well.
Right.
I didn't know.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Clay kind of was using that as like
a crutch.
A crutch is why he makes the decisions he makes. But Brett didn't let that. If you're looking at the difference between the two.
Well, see, that's why I like Clay's speech. I think Clay acknowledged a lot of things that he didn't acknowledge on the show. Like when he says, so in that speech, there's a lot of things I caught. I caught the fact that he was struggling with being faithful because he used to be a D1 college athlete.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I caught that. I caught the whole, they don't tell you what to do once the lights go out and you got to go assimilate in the regular world. So, I mean, pretty much goes back to what I said last week. You got them hoes and you don't know if a relationship is worth giving up all this shit you got. You so used to getting what you want when you get it. You pampered. You're a D1 athlete.
Yeah.
So, like, you ain't no scrub. So, I mean, he's struggling. He's struggling with a lot. I agree. You know what I'm saying? Once again, I don't think his struggles is all, based on his parents or whatever his trauma is. But once again, to hear him say certain things, I was like, okay, that connects. I could separate the good shit from the, I'm still trying to see if AD will let me come back in her life more than just what we do now.
Yeah.
Then I like AD. I like AD wising up and acknowledging that she acknowledged the red flags.
Yeah.
Matter of fact,
she did why you bringing it up? But yeah, I thought she did I saw growth from both of them in that situation. And also, I mean, the show was produced, so it could have been stuff we missed. But I thought you could tell she's kind of like dealt with the situation of being left at the altar.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell that their relationship is fun now. Like she still was hurt. She blasted on him a little bit, but you could tell they still got like a chemistry there. And it could be something if either one of them wanted to work on it.
They
could.
probably could.
Yeah.
I got that too.
And I like Clay. I love Clay's speech, and I think Clay represents a lot of, especially millennial black men. I think he just represents. That's why I root for him so hard, because it's like, damn, that's like a nigga I grew up with or something.
Yeah, I agree. I guess.
And you understand his struggle.
I do understand him. Like I feel him. I guess I watched this shit unbiased. Mm-hmm. So it's not like a dude that I actually pull for. I'm kind of watching it like sports. Like I'm watching to see what's actually gonna work. Like I'm just into the show itself. So it's never like any season I ever watch. I never really like want pull for somebody. I'm trying to see who they really are. Like what these men are struggling with. Do you really want to get married? And I just really
do you like men and you jumped on the show for
that
the
too.
wrong reason.
But I really like Clay. I really did like the things he was saying. But like I said, what I seen in him, and that's what I was gonna say about him and Brett. What I seen in him was, he's young.
Yeah.
And I seen where he was at in life.
Yeah, Brett was a little older, right?
Brett was older. So although he was uncertain, he was also an older man who's like, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Like he knew not to come into that experiment saying those things. Like,
yeah.
He just knew it. And you being a little bit younger, it's an experiment. Let me try it out. I do want to play these comments from AD because this I like this. I watched this early on TikTok.
I feel like Clay sees himself as a high value man. It seemed like he did present some red flags.
For sure.
What flags did you observe of his in the pods, and what ones did you feel like you maybe chose to ignore?
The whole marriage thing honestly started in the pods. He was very afraid of marriage and long-term commitment, simultaneously telling me this is what I want so bad. At one hand, he's like, oh, I'm afraid. And the other hand, he's like, but I want you so bad. I want this. I want to be married.
In a very clever way, Clay said, I have a lot of potential. I just need someone to fix me.
Oof.
Did you see it differently watching it back?
There's so much you don't see, which
Sure.
I'm sure you're aware of. I would love to put some context to this. Clay and I had so many conversations about not moving forward. And I know it looks like I'm blindly following him off a cliff, and he's telling me I don't want to marry. And I'm like, okay, let's go get married. And he's like, no, I don't want to. And I'm like, yeah. There were so many conversations where I was like, I'm good to walk away. I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good to walk away. And he'd be like, no, AD, I really want to try. I really want to do this. I really want to make this work with you. And I'd be like, okay, well, let's try. And then he would actually try and do things differently and show up for me in certain ways. And then he would hit me with a sprinkle, I'm just afraid to get married. And I'm like, okay, well, again, we do not have to do this. I'm okay. I would rather not be humiliated in front of all of my family and friends. And he's like, AD, I'm not going to embarrass you. I'm not going to humiliate you. And I said, okay.
Damn.
I feel like
So I play that to say that's the age gap. Somebody said to me this week, with age comes experience, right? So that's what, and like you said, you was rooting for him. It's not that I don't root for him. I'm watching unbiased, and I'm hearing him do and say a lot of things that I did. And when I heard it, I'm like, oh, this nigga don't want no relationship because I was you. I said those things, and then I listened to this. And to hear her, first of all, acknowledge that I did hear the red flags, but her youth is showing in this too, because I think women will get drug along with the, hey, I love you, or hey, I want to be with you, or hey, I really like the time we spend, but I don't think I'm ready. But I like the time we spend, but I don't think I'm ready. But you're great, you're perfect. I want you.
It's a lot of situationships.
Yeah, and that's and until you go through that as a woman, till you go through that as a man, and has the man learning hey, you can't say that. You have to pick a side, because that could be bad for you if she can't let go. And you're trying to figure out, well, why she confused? I told her I ain't like her. Yeah, but what else did you tell her? All right,
True.
What else did you show her?
But unfortunately, a lot of men don't learn that until they start to notice the pattern. And they're like, okay, I'm doing this shit again. Let me stop. Let me slow down.
And that's what I'm saying. And that's why the age difference between Brett and him, now I don't want to throw Clay on the bus and say he's consciously doing that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he learned from this, or maybe she told him this, and now he knows I shouldn't say things like that. Or maybe that's his game. Hey, I like you, but I don't want nothing. But I like you, but I'm scared.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
if that's what you're doing, cool, that's your game. I'm not here to blow your spot. But when she, like I said, watching that clip, I see the immaturity in both. Now she's went through that. Hopefully she don't, make the same mistake twice and kind of just take the heed to the word of what you're hearing. Like, if somebody says they don't want something, no matter what that follows that sentence, the beginning of that sentence remains.
Right.
I don't want that.
Yeah. True. And sometimes you'll say something, you'll be direct, but then after your directness, which is pretty much what you're saying, after your directness, you'll see the reaction, and then you try to clean it up a little bit. And
you know what? I don't know how other men. I don't know how other men like grow from that, because you don't ever want to disappoint somebody. But one thing I did learn is sometimes you just have to be the bad guy with no explanation. Sometimes it's just got to be exactly what it is. They're not gonna like it, and there's nothing you can do about somebody else's feelings. You know what I'm saying? But to try to soften that blow with other words, it's still not helping either. So I'm gonna just say what I say. I know you don't like it, but
that's a certain level of maturity.
Yeah, and I feel like he'll grow to that. If he wants a relationship, you'll grow to that as you date.
Yeah, I think he will. I think he's just got to get a few more years under his belt. Because you're right. Sometimes when you got a lot of them on you, it's gonna be hard for you to be like, I can have you, but you don't do this, this, and this. But I got these 3 girls on this side, and I can pull a little bit from each one of them and be satisfied.
Yeah.
Not fair, but that's how it is.
Okay.
I mean, that's what he's struggling with. I'm just speaking from Clay. I felt like I was gonna ask you this, D. I feel like AD represent 80% of the women in the dating pool. They really, really want something. And they're hopeful that it happens. Even with the red flags, they're hoping that we can grow together or we can grow past this situation or whatever. I felt like, like I said, admitting that she was able to see the red flags but couldn't distinguish through the mixed signals. And that's why I say I feel like so many women get mixed signals and they don't know what to do with mixed signals.
Right.
Speak to me about big signals.
So I think the level of maturity for her in that instance, as she matures, she'll continue to date, and maybe she won't. She may take a break. Who knows? But I think, yes, 80% of women kind of get stuck because they get these mixed signals. They don't really know what to do. The maturity piece of that is learning to take mixed signals as a no and accepting that although it hurts, you may really like this person. You really have already, and women that are listening, they get it. There's always been a guy that you see tomorrow with. You see what those easygoing Sundays look like with him. You see what living with him looks like, and you're ready for all those things. But if that man tells you yes, no, maybe today, not tomorrow, yes, no, you have to accept it overall as a no and just go away and leave it alone and leave it where it's at. And I think AD, her growth from this experience is she stood firm in what she said on camera. If you tell me no at the altar, I cannot continue to be with you. And
I shot her off of that. Like, thanks for doing that.
So even if I know we have thoughts like maybe they still getting it behind the scenes or doing whatever. That's truly their business. They may just be good friends, but I really do commend her as well as standing firm in her no. And I think Clay, a part of him having to come to terms with himself was getting a no. Because I think a part of it is like when he said something about like being an athlete and stuff like that, a lot of women will tell you no, or I'm not going to deal with you no more, and you do this to me, and da-da-da-da-da. And he clearly is a great talker, and he can just talk his way right back into whatever situation that, works for him. And I think AD kind of put up this wall like, nah, I'm good. I'm good on you. Because you hurt me. You broke my heart.
Yeah, he did it dirty for sure. Yeah. That was embarrassing.
Yeah, especially after hearing that. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? After hearing like him actually tell you, hey, I won't embarrass you, and then embarrass you.
I wish they would have asked him that. Like, what part of you thought that was okay to go to the altar and do it the way you did it.
Yo.
Especially
And
if they
so
had that conversation
he kind
beforehand.
of explained it a little bit, but he didn't really get deep into it, and I wish that he would have.
But the explanation, I know what you're talking about. He said, I got down to the day and it was a yes, but then when you walk down there and you get in front of that person, like whoever's giving the thing, and I'm looking at you in the eye, I just couldn't do that to you. That's what he said. That was his explanation.
Because I wasn't ready. Because I looked at, and basically he took a look inside himself. Like, if I say yes today, I'm gonna tear her to I'm gonna tear her to pieces.
Right.
I'm gonna break her heart.
And he had to do the right thing.
I guess I can.
So the
accept
right
that.
thing was to, as crazy as it sounds, was to embarrass her in that moment.
Yeah.
But it saved her from a lifetime of heartache.
Shit, we just gave Clay points. He
Shout out
was
to
not
my nigga
lying.
I
Clay.
mean,
But yeah.
You're right though.
it did. It saved
You're
her.
right.
And
If you explain it like that, yeah.
But and that's unfortunately that is how women mature day in, day out. We get our hearts broken, we get torn to pieces, and we have to realize that this moment it just saved us from years of BS. And it sucks.
When do you realize that as a woman?
Ooh, I had questions for her too. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, Johnny.
When do you realize
that
that the situation
that
worked out?
situation didn't work out for a reason.
It didn't work out and it's serving its purpose.
Yeah.
Honestly, you don't see it the day you hear the bullshit. You don't see it the day he tells you this ain't gonna work. You don't see it then. You go through your whole phases of grief for love. Like you go through it, and then one day you realize maybe it's when you meet somebody better. Maybe it's when you actually have a good laugh and it's not with somebody that you're romantic with. It's just with friends or just by yourself. It's you just have this aha moment. Like, you know what? Had I still been with that person, I would be stuck on stupid. I would be worrying about where they are right now. I'd be worrying about what my phone is dry and why they haven't, like,
Yeah.
you just realize it's just it randomly comes after the
Gotcha.
heartbreak.
Can you do me a favor and like move that mic where you can talk directly into it?
I thought I did.
You're gonna have to shift it up. Yeah, that might work better.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Okay.
you reading better. Damn.
You had a question for her too?
I did.
For the women's circle.
I was trying to hold. I was trying to hold it and let y'all finish. What is it about mixed signals that catch y'all up like that? Like,
I had that question
yeah,
too.
what is it about that?
Good question.
I mean, hey, hold on. This is just an advisory. If there is a woman listening right
I
now,
was
she's
gonna
not
say,
speaking for y'all.
I can't speak for everybody.
She's not
and
speaking for y'all. Just speak in general. You are a woman. You have women friends. So
I have
just,
women friends.
You've been
just
to
from
brunch.
that small
I've also
1%
had
of women.
One of
just-
my women friends tell me I think like a nigga. So I don't know. I struggle sometimes, but even in my own struggles, I will say in general, women get mixed up in the mixed signals because they are just that. They're signals. It's not just talking. If a man tells you he's not ready, that same said man will then call you to make sure that you ate that day. Will make sure that you good. They may even know something happened and they're gonna be the first person there. Mm-hmm. They're gonna show up with flowers. The actions don't really align with the words because then you get swooned back in and you're like, okay, now you're going on dates. Now you're spending time. But then they'll remind you, I'm not ready. I love spending time with you. I love doing all these things. I'm not ready though. So
Why
it's
is it-
like, as a woman, we can't really, there's no stop and go with our feelings. Once we have feelings for you, those floodgates are open. Like, literally.
So
feel that.
how do you separate the two? Like, how do you take heed to what you heard and ignore what is happening? You know what I'm saying? I'm a man, so I can't speak for a woman, but I know for myself. Of course, I've been caught up in some mixed signals from women, and then from that, I've learned to just, the same thing. Like, if she says this, like, I'm literally listening to what you're saying, no matter what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I've had people tell me, like, well, she's doing this, so it's got to mean this, but I don't give a fuck. No matter what you're doing, that's great. So
Right.
if I'm talking to a girl and she's saying, I haven't really decided if I even want to be in a relationship. Well, that right there is all I hear, and it's all I'm focused on. So she could call me every day. She could see if I'm good in the morning, good in the middle of the day, send me lunch money. When it comes down to it, when she say, hey, where are we at? I'm checking in. I'm still on you. So do you know where you at? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you could bring up the fact that, well, I be calling you. Da-da-da. So do you know where you at? So when do you learn, or do you ever learn, or does anybody ever learn to compartmentalize the two?
Of
Like,
course. I don't think so. Here's the thing: somehow in society we made it healthy that we should compartmentalize our feelings. Don't do that shit. Be straightforward. So in the midst of using your example, in the midst of when you heard her say, "I don't want to be in a relationship," but yet she's doing all those things. If you wanting to be in a relationship was your goal, you should stop that shit before. I don't care if she calls you every day. I don't care if she's sending you lunch money. Send that shit back.
But
So
my thing, well,
it's like you have to kind of stand firm and you don't accept the signals as they're given, because it's easier said than done. I know I'm speaking and it's easier said than done, because we all love flowers. We all love to be made feel special. But if a man is telling you mixed signals or giving you mixed signals, or he said, I'm not ready, but he's showing you he might be, you have to kind of hold him accountable. Hey, bro, you said you're not ready. So no, I can't spend time with you. No, I can't, do X, Y, Z.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you have to stand firm in your, I know this is an overused word on social media, but it's self-care and self-love.
Shout out to that for real.
If it comes down to it, if you got to rub one out to focus, hey, do that.
You do got to do that sometimes.
But don't go bust it wide open for a nigga that just told you that he don't even know if he wants you. He can't lead you nowhere. Don't do that. Take a step back.
Got it.
That's what's up. Act like a lady, think like a man.
All right. I don't think I had anything else on the player AD thing. But last but not least, they gave Kenneth and Brittany like 2 seconds.
Hey, do I want to hear that
Bro, they the gay
beard ass
besties.
relationship?
Like they gave them niggas
They
2
the gay
seconds.
besties.
Yeah,
Besties,
like
besties.
as soon as they said best friends, I was like, oh my
We
god.
talk every day. I bet you do.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm like, listen, Brittany's an attractive white woman. I don't know no straight man that's.
All right, yeah,
Like,
we best friends.
you
I'm
never-
best friends in that booty here.
Yeah.
Every Saturday
Oh,
night.
I'm pretty sure she pop up at Elevation. She getting married next week.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Definitely to a country nigga from Lewisburg.
And I think if we're attacking the online chatter, yeah, Nick and your wife, like Nick and his wife should have asked, like online they saying you gay.
Yeah, they didn't even hit
Like,
that. They
just
was
hit
too,
it.
They was too scared, but y'all want to attack everybody else. Attack the gay dude.
And I think I don't like how the only person they asked were they seeing somebody, and we kind of knew they were seeing someone else, is Trevor and Laura. I wanted them to at least ask.
Oh,
That was
yeah,
the most
yeah.
unnecessary.
Right,
like,
shit I
why
didn't
bring
care
him
about.
out?
Yeah,
I
that
feel like
Trevor's-
I wanted them to at least ask Brittany and Kenneth, so are either of you seeing someone? And I think they did kind of ask that, and they were like, oh no, but we've had a discussion. When we find our person,
When we find our person,
you
how we
know,
gonna do this?
we understand that we'll have to respect the other, da-da-da-da-da. Very well rehearsed.
Yeah.
But what you're not telling me is if you're seeing somebody or if there is somebody of interest outside of this experience, because it wasn't Brittany, and for Brittany, it wasn't Kenneth.
Right, but they still hang out every day because they're just friends. Which I've seen that before, and they didn't get deep in the relationship.
No,
No, they didn't.
Where they
didn't.
still could have had a good friendship, so it could be possible. And Kenneth might not be. He just like somebody said, he just sassy, which I still don't understand the term sassy. It's been tossed around a lot lately.
It has been.
It is.
It's the new word. It's the new millennial word.
Yeah,
Well,
but
Gen Z word.
yeah, I don't think he gay. I like to make fun of it, saying that he is
Yeah,
because
me
of the
too.
way he
Me
acts.
too.
But I don't
He's
think
just
he's
a
gay.
true principal.
Yeah, that's what he is. He be around.
I
He
don't
got
like
to
that
he like a leader. He gotta be a leader amongst kids every day.
You know,
Nah, but
That phone situation though.
no, his explanation was great.
Yeah.
I thought that was a great explanation. I harkened back to times where our principal friend was doing his principal thing and spent a lot of time on his phone.
Right.
So even on a vacation, spent a lot of time on his phone. So I was like, you know what? Good fucking excuse, buddy.
and when
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
good at what
makes
you
sense.
do, then yeah, you're
That
right.
too. Like, yeah, people like you. They trust you with their children.
They couldn't wait for you to get back to tell you what you missed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Good on him.
yeah, all
And
of
he
that.
won some awards and stuff too. I saw in Charlotte.
Yeah, I
Like,
seen that on his Instagram.
yeah. So good for him, man.